Oh boy. Oh boy. Hey guys. It's me. It's me. Who else were you expecting? That's apple juice. Pretty good. So hey, still alive. Though they want me dead. They really do. It's funny. The gang stalking has gotten just absolutely insane. I've got two more videos coming, two more videos on the topic coming, and then I think that'll those will be my last videos, like, with evidence anyway. I'll give you a little story, actually. Oh my god, and actually, like, it was like a terrifying thing for me, but, hey, I'm still here and I'm still alive, but it was a terrifying, like, knock. I thought to say knock from reality, or knock of reality. And it's like, oh, Matt, oh, reality, it's reality coming in, right? It's like, well, that's like a demeaning way to put it, because it's a knock from the ominous whatever, right? I was going out and I was videotaped. Well, here's the thing: when you're gang stalked, especially when it's gotten like so bad that, like, for me, actually, cars have started like swerving out of the lane a little bit fairly frequently. Just like swerving towards me or swinging really wide to then park their car into their driveway, but they like face me for a second, and it's like that. Like, it's really aggressive behavior. It could be like many of the other things they do, it is, or it could be deemed as illegal behavior. In that case, what, reckless driving and whatever. Anyway, so it's good and it's helpful to have some kind of camera on you, so that you can basically, if anything bizarre happens, you got a camera there, to take footage of it. Now, here's the thing, though. Of course, this stuff must be happening within, like, the full okayness of, not the okayness of the law, not that the law is just or whatever, but though they're breaking the law, in many ways, seemingly, they're breaking the law seemingly with full cooperation of the law, of the carriers out of what is called the law, right? Um, and so I had my camera and I was like I went and I took a video of the church sign, which has some interesting messages. For example, it's a church where they said we stand for three things. At one point, they had a sign that said we stand. The sign said we stand for faith, family, freedom. And of course, that's F word, F word, F word. And F is the sixth letter. So we stand for 666. It's hilarious. And recently they've had, are you following God's plan for your life or your own? And it's like, especially with all the weird gang stalking stuff that's been going on, it's like, are you talking about God's plan or are you talking about your own, right? Are you trying to get me to think that something else is God's plan? Whatever. It's like, what, you think that message is written for you? I think I live in kind of a pachinko village, actually. It seems to me like Pachinko Village, is that the thing? There used to be like pinball machines, and people would talk about pinball machines, and then all of a sudden, every time someone said pinball machine, they say pachinko machine. Is that a different thing? I don't know, but that's something that strikes me as bizarre. And every time someone says, "Oh, a pachinko machine," it's just like, do you mean a pinball machine, or are you somehow like, is the game everyone talks about now just like a totally different game from a different country? It's like, just come on, just fucking stop it with the new speak already. It's called a pinball machine, guys. If you're talking about something else, then what? You're an American. You're talking about something that isn't even like a fixture of the American environment. I don't know. Maybe it's a Japanese thing. If it's a Russian thing, then why are you fucking talking about it in America? Come on. It's clearly some kind of newspeak thing. Whatever. Jason Graves mentions. It seems like Jason Graves mentions pachinko machine like every video. Whatever. That's fine. I like Jason Graves. I think he's pretty good. But anyway, so yeah, I took some video of the church sign, and And then of course there's this like broken bottle of Jameson whiskey or whatever that's been in this beautiful green grass field that looks fairly well maintained. So it's funny that this bottle has been there for just like days. Like I think maybe more than a week now. I've walked back and forth past that thing. I like to go on walks around, and for a while I was kind of scared out of doing walks. Recently I've been like, you know what, I'm gonna fucking go on walks again. And there you go. Then you get harassed again. Then today, later today, I was like, oh shit, maybe I should just not go on walks anymore. Fuck that. I'm probably gonna go on a walk tonight. If a cop pulls me over, I'm gonna be like, is it legal for you to just harass people like this? But in any case, I'm taking a video of that broken bottle on the church lawn, and again, the church lawn is very nicely maintained, and there's just been this big broken fucking Jameson bottle. Like if you touch the side of it, you might fairly easily get cut, and that's like it's a church. And like I went by recently and I heard like the sounds of kids playing like somewhere on the church grounds, and right on the fucking grass here, the beautiful green grass, is this broken fucking liquor bottle, basically. But the funny thing is, literally, and it wasn't anything else. Literally, the first alcohol I ever bought, when after I was like, the day I turned 21, 21 years since I was born, um, was Jameson. I bought one thing that day, that morning, and it was a Jameson bottle. It was Jameson whiskey. And what's out here in this town where it seems like it's what, this pachinko village, basically this North Korean village where it seems like basically everyone's just here to fucking harass me. Not to mention I was talking about how horrible everyone is recently. I was walking around doing a little podcast and I was like, everyone here is so horrible. It's like they're a bunch. I live in Rhode Island. I was like, it's like they're a bunch of Peter Griffins. And I was like, but the thing is, like, at least Peter's funny. They're not even funny. And I was laughing and I was like, maybe they make some fart jokes sometimes, but that's about it. And then I go to Walmart, and what's written on the curb at Walmart? What's written on the curb? Written on the curb in graffiti at Walmart. In the parking lot at Walmart. On my way there, that I've been taking I've walked to Walmart recently, like quite a few times now. And on my way there, what's suddenly written on there? On the curb, the word fart with an exclamation point. These people are fucking like, are you fucking kidding me? I talk about how horrible all of you guys are, and then I say you're just like Peter Griffin. Family Guy is basically like, it's truly a depiction of Rhode Island, just a bunch of awful people. But they're not even funny. Like, they're not even funny. And then I say like, well, maybe they'll make fart jokes or something. And then I go to Walmart, and fart with an exclamation point after it. The word fart and an exclamation point is written on the fucking curb at the Walmart that I go to later that day. All right, that's the same Walmart. Well, I don't know if they got it from there, but I went to that Walmart a couple times, and I talked about this on one of the videos. And then I went back to the Stop and Shop after not going there for a few days. And what do I see pushed into a bush between the Stop and Shop Plaza and the Wendy's? It's like there's a Wendy's, and then the plaza is the Stop and Shop Plaza. And the Wendy's is sort of like on the diagonal kind of shoulder of it. And what do I see pushed into the bush right outside the Wendy's? And you turn right, and there's Stop and Shop, a Walmart shopping cart. Oh wow. Oh wow. That's oh wow. So many coincidences, Matt. It's just so many coincidences, but because we're trained not to acknowledge anything that you say, that's just the way it is. Oh, by the way, I went to the Carriage Inn in North Kingstown, South Kingstown or something. It's a restaurant. And I texted my aunt prior to that. She was like, "Oh, let's go to this place in North Kingstown right near your house." And I was like, for your birthday. And I was like, I hate to ask, but could we go somewhere a little farther away? Because I'm afraid that they're going to mess with my food there because people don't like me in this town. So she's like, all right, I'll think of some place. And so they take me to the Carriage Inn, which is still in the general like town, but it is like, I was like, could we go somewhere down the square mile? And I think it is like about a mile away, maybe, from the other place and from where I live, etc. And maybe it's like South Kingstown, not North Kingstown. I don't know. You can go look it up. But what do we get? She orders a pizza for me and a pizza for her, and then my uncle gets something. And on her pizza, the margarita pizza, baked into the bottom, as I have in one of the YouTube videos here, I have the footage of me like pulling the tape apart, baked into the bottom and showing sear marks on it, where I pulled it off of the pizza that had sear marks on it, was a wad of tape bunched and bundled over itself again and again. A wad of tape baked into the pizza that she ordered for her, actually. And I ate some of, and so did she. And actually, so did my uncle. That's what I'm talking about. It's like, and then I told my other uncle this, and he's like, oh, well, it's just probably just shitty workmanship. And it's like, oh, really, shitty workmanship. And then I mentioned the sear marks, and he's like, well, that is weird, Matt, but just let it go. It's like, so do any of you give a shit about me? It's like I specifically send a text saying I'm afraid this other place is going to mess with my food because of the proximity to where I live, and then we go to another place that's still kind of close to where I live. I would have picked somewhere farther away. And if I was picking it, but I didn't. I didn't say no. I was just like, oh, okay. And we go there, and they bake. They bake a wad of tape into the pizza underneath the pizza, and they take it out to the table. Bold move, right? Bold fucking move. So that's what I deal with around here. Not to mention the fart thing written in, not to mention the broken Jameson bottle, which is probably some fucking creepy reference to me as well, given all the other weird stuff, some of which I've told you about in this fucking video. And so I'm going around now, and nowadays I've been accustomed to, like, you know what? All this fucking weird stuff is around me at all times. Let's get some fucking videotape footage of it, right? All right, well, I'm taking some videotape footage, and I also noticed that I've criticized how people around here park. People around here park on the fucking grass. They park on their fucking front lawns sometimes. They park like on the right side of the street, but facing the wrong way. People around here are just fucking shitty, right? People around here just do shit. And one of the things they do, maybe it's to fuck with me at this point, is they just park their cars all over the fucking place. They'll literally have like one fucking wheel on the grass of their lawn, and the other wheels on the blacktop, which they could have parked all four wheels on. But they'll just like do one fucking wheel on the grass. And so I was like, okay, like, so I wasn't trying to get license plates. I was just like, all right, like, here's a wheel on the grass here. Oh, here's a car that's parked just on the fucking lawn over there. And then this car literally pulled into its little semicircular driveway. And not only was one of the cars that was parked there already one wheel on the grass, the other wheels on the blacktop or whatever, but then this car did it as well. The car that just parked, one wheel parked on the grass, the others are on the fucking blacktop. Anyone who's like been gang stalked and stuff, you'll hear that and you'll be like, oh yeah, well that's like a fucking pattern. They'll just do that kind of shit so that you'll notice that after a while. That stuff doesn't even, like, the parking on the lawn stuff, like, that just looks trashy. That doesn't even really bother me, but I think it's sort of fun to point it out and talk about it. Like, really, like, are these people that shitty over here? But like, they literally did that and literally pulled in while I was like talking about it and kind of looking at some of this shit. And then, okay, so I'm walking around, I'm seeing more fucking, little whiskey, little nips and shit on the side of the road. I see a windshield piece, or windshield wiper piece, that has been broken off or been taken off and just left on the side of the road in front of one of these other houses. And it's been there for like days and days, right? I've seen it walking back and forth to Walmart. And so I'm like, okay, I'm getting footage of this. I'm talking about, like, because I recently had my windshield thing break off, and then I thought it was broken, but then it turned out, no, I could just snap it right back on. It wasn't broken at all. And I was like, thank God. And then that day I left the parking lot there, and I was still on my way to work that day. I pull into a gas station that I'd never gone to before, probably never go to again, and wasn't even thinking of that as the gas station I was going to. I was just like, I'm going to go to some gas station on the way. I get there, and then one of the people there says, "Is that him?" As I go in. And then when I go in, the guy like waits a long, basically like he waits like 6 or 10 seconds before he even like acknowledges that I'm there, and I'm waiting at the fucking counter. There's one guy in there, and he's the guy who works there. He waits like, it feels like an age to actually come over and say something to me. And then when I'm done paying for the gas, he's like, "Have a nice day, brother." And he says it like in this really meaningful way, such as like, the joke by some comedian, whatever, Dane Cook or something. I've talked about it, but it's a good example to point to. Like when you're at an airport or something, and if someone says like, "Oh, have a nice flight," but if they changed their tone and they said, "Have a nice flight," it would sound totally different, right? That's how he said, "Have a nice day, brother." And then I go fucking out. I go back out of that gas station, and the guy who was there in one of those yellow construction jerseys, because that's something that you see as well with these fucking gang stalkers that I've seen and acknowledged. There was basically like a Mexican guy, probably an illegal immigrant, wearing one of those fucking. And I say that because that's something else that I've criticized. And so, of course, the guy who said, "Is that him?" would also see, also was like, had a fairly thick accent. He was like a guy of like Mexican descent, potentially an illegal immigrant as well, whether he was or not. But this guy is standing out at the pump with his little sedan, and this is like one of the fastest gas pumping pumps I've ever seen in my life. It pumps so fast it was like you're not getting all your gas. It's like, really? Did I get it? Did I get the gas for that money that I paid? But he's standing there when I get there. I get out of the car. I go in. That guy waits basically an eternity to even talk to me. Then he gives me that creepy little "have a nice day, brother." And then I go out. That guy's still standing next to his car. By now, his car should have been filled up if it's that small and the gas is pumping that fast. But he's still standing there. I look over at him and I meet his eyes because I'm like, is this another fucking guy like fucking creeping around and trying to stalk me? He looks right back at me with this fucking predatory glare, and then he clicks, click, click, click in a sexual manner the fucking pump that he's still standing there with, probably long after the gas would have been full in the car, because he was standing there with it looked like he was standing there with the thing freaking in his car when I had gotten there, probably before I had even gotten out of the car. Now it's like, in any case, like that all happened after I had put my windshield wiper back on. And now suddenly right outside a house that's on the path for me to fucking Walmart, there's just this windshield wiper that's sitting there the entire time. It's like, Matt, that's the least convincing part. You know what? That might be the least convincing part, but nevertheless, like that's just another one of these ominous little messages that seem like references to Matt's life or from Matt's life. And so, I'm documenting this stuff. I'm going around, and one of the little bottles on the side of the road and one of these people's fucking front lawns says Sutter Home on it. It's like some Sutter Home wine thing. And it's like, I don't know if I've ever gotten Sutter Home wine or something, but it's like, oh, Sutter Home. Is that some kind of, if that's for me, is that some kind of oblique reference to like, oh, you live at your parents' home, or I don't know, whatever. But it's like, okay, like I noticed that. And then so I take a right and I'm going like, I'm basically like heading back to the house now. And there's this like huge cavalcade of like all these Sutter Home bottles, just like it's so many that it's a funny amount of fucking bottles, and it's all like most of them are that fucking brand of wine. And so I'm like, you know what, let's take one more video. Let's take a video of this. So I got the video of that because I had already thought like, oh, is that the last video? I thought of it was like video 7 or whatever. It's like, all right, we'll end on, somehow it seemed like a 7, or maybe it was like whatever. And so but it's like, okay, we'll do one more. And so I did that video, and then I close the camera, and I'm walking back, and I'm actually like, all right, like I'm heading back to the house. That'll be the last one. What? How many fucking pictures of fucking like Fireball whiskey and stuff on the side of the road do I need to get, right? And this car like pulls up just behind me, and I'm like, all right. And so like it's like pulls up slow, but then it like stops just behind me, and I'm not even looking at it because they're probably going to hit me with some of the stuff that maybe they sensitized me to or whatever. It's like, and I've just started looking away from people and looking away from cars around here. I don't want to be I don't want to look at these people anymore. I don't want to look at their cars, whatever. If you want to come and hit me, I'd rather you not, right? So I just stand there and like wait, and then it fucking waits behind me. And I'm like, ooh, this is an aggressive fucking person. So I turn, and of course it's a fucking cop van. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh great. Oh yeah. Yep. Somebody saw me taking these fucking like getting footage of all these fucking little treats and shit seemingly left out to fucking fuck with me. They saw me getting the footage of that, and they fucking called the cops on me. Well, that is what happened. So I go over, and he's like, oh, you're not in trouble, but do you have a camera? And I was like, yeah. He's like, could I see it? And so he didn't ask to like, didn't ask to like take it or anything, but he's like, so I was like, yep, this is it. And he's like, all right. He's like, yeah, no, it's not illegal to, I just got a call that you were taking like some maybe footage of cars or something, or of people's houses or around people's houses. Of course, I wasn't taking footage of people's houses. I was looking not to even get the license plate on the dang cars, but I was like, yep, yeah, no, I was like, I probably said too much to him, but I'm like, yeah, I've had people have been kind of like giving me problems in this community. I mentioned the food thing, and of course, instead of saying like, oh really, they baked a piece of tape into your pizza, he's like, have you gone back to that place since then? I was like, no, I'm not going to any fucking restaurant in the area anymore. I don't think I said fucking, but I'm like, no, I'm not going to go back there. Not after what they did to the food, right? I don't want to go back to any restaurant in the area, right? And I told him like I had asked to go to a restaurant farther from the area because I thought they were going to mess with my food, and then lo and behold, they did. And of course, again, it's like he doesn't say, He doesn't say like, "Oh, I'm going to go ask them about why they did that," especially given that you seem to see it coming, and then it happened. Oh, that's strange. Maybe they were being maliciously tampering with your fucking food. No, this police officer said, "Have you gone back there? Did you go back there since?" As if to suggest that I was like going and doing some like, it's like, oh wow, so they messed with my food, and then you're gonna try to cast me as some kind of dangerous guy who would go back and retaliate or something. Oh Matt, we didn't say retaliate. Fuck you, cocksucker. I know how you people talk. Yeah, no, I didn't go back there, and I'm not gonna go back there. I did leave a review though with pictures of the fucking tape, and then the pizza where the tape had been pulled off of, that I pulled it off. Thank goodness I didn't bite into it, right? Because it didn't, like the way it was, it didn't look like it was necessarily tape or something. It looked like just sort of, I don't know, it looked like something. And so I pulled it off, and it's like, oh wow, this is a wad of tape, and you can hear it fucking. You can check out my most recent more gang stalking video period more. I was pulling it off, and you could see it like the bread was fucking between. It was baked in there. Anyway, he didn't give a shit about that, clearly, right? But he said to me, he reiterated to me, he said again and again, what you did wasn't illegal. And he was like, you didn't go on anyone's property or anything, right? And I was like, no. I was like, no. And I was just, people have been harassing me, people have been screwing with me, so I was just taking some video of like, what it seems like might have been people doing that. And I mentioned like people parking on the front lawn. He's like, where do they do that? And I was like, around here. I didn't say like you asshole or something, but it's like around here. You fucking seen people park on the fucking grass around here, haven't you? People park all fucking shitty angles. By the way, they should be leaving tickets if they're like real police. They should be leaving tickets for people who are parked the fucking facing the wrong way on the fucking side of a street. People straight up again park on the right side of the road facing the wrong fucking direction. It's like you guys don't give a shit about anything, right? Right? It's all about me, right? In any case. So it's like, no, it's like, oh, where do people park on the grass? It's like around here. In any case, it wasn't like that long of an interaction, and he kept repeating like, you didn't do anything illegal. And yet he kept asking me questions in a very like scary way. And then he went back to like talk to his radio guy or something, and I heard the radio guy saying like, well, no, he didn't do anything illegal. And then he stood there for a couple more seconds as if he was hoping the guy would be like, but take him in anyway or something. Like, I kid you not, he stood for a little awkward period of time while he was standing there. By the way, the other cop who had pulled up now behind me, this hot little lady cop, she's like, can I get your phone number? And I was like, I'm not interested. And she's like, okay. And then and now it's kicking in, like the people on YouTube who say you shouldn't, like that, it was already kicking in, but they're like, you don't have to say anything to a cop, and you actually shouldn't. And so that's like lawyers and stuff on YouTube. Look it up. They'll tell you, don't talk to just don't fucking talk to him. If you're not under arrest, just don't talk to him. I sort of straddled that line. I explained enough to tell him like what I was doing, but otherwise and he kept saying, yeah, what you were doing is not illegal. Basically, what you were doing was totally fine, and yet I'm gonna grill you as if you're like public enemy number one, right? So anyway, so then that guy walks back over, and he's like, could I get your cell phone number just so if we need to call you and follow up? I was like, I'm not interested. And then he's like, okay, so how long have you lived here? Like, were you born here or something? And I was like, I'm done. And he's like, all right, have a nice day. And I just walk away. But oh my God, man. Like, oh my fucking God. What a fucking nightmare, dude. What a horrible nightmare.